Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Ray Tejerina. I work for the School Discovery Network. I know I'm sorry. Some of you guys probably expecting Inga tonight. She had some mom duties she had to kind of take care of, so she's out today. So I will be presenting today. So please bear with me on the front end. I'm still trying to figure out this technology, but I will do my best. And we also have a team behind the scenes working. Laura Idle, Martha Newton, and Myra Schneider. They're our team of support that are going to be behind the scenes, answering any questions that you might have. As we go, you'll start to kind of like there should be a chat box that you can kind of go in there and drop any questions that you might have as we go along. What will end up happening is they'll answer the questions if they can. If not, they'll pass the questions along to me, and then I will loop back around on the back end and answer all the questions that come through, if that makes any sense. But for now, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you giving us your time this evening. And so let's go ahead and dive in and get started, okay? What I also want to do before I start this presentation, one thing I do want to do, I want to preface that this information is going to be brought to you at a really high level. The Texas Education Freedom Accounts are something that's just coming out from the state, so it's brand new. So with that being said, there's a lot of information that is still kind of being worked out and hashed out at the state level. The new organization that's going to be disseminating all the funds is called Odyssey. They just got named, so there's a lot of different things, a lot of different nuances that are going to kind of start to kind of play out, if that makes any sense. So we're going to keep this information at a really high level, like I said. And like I said, if there's any questions, feel free to ask them. So great. So this first slide, what it is, basically, this is a QR code for anybody that's on the call that we haven't connected with or we haven't spoken to. Please use this QR code to give us your information. We want to know who you are, where you're at. We want to get your contact information so that we can kind of stay connected as this whole process plays out here in the state of Texas. We put together ESA town halls just like this. We're working on tutorial videos so that you can know how to fill out applications. There's a bunch of different things that we're going to be doing over at School Discovery Network so that you can be prepared and be ready once the application rolls out. You'll see this slide a couple of times during the slide deck, so just keep that in mind. So first things first, what is an EFA? Up until a couple of weeks ago, it was actually an ESA, Education Savings Account, and then the state of Texas changed it to the Education Freedom Account. And it's just another example of things that are changing at the last minute. So just kind of bear with us on that. So the Education Freedom Accounts, the Texas EFA offers access to state funds. Basically, the state of Texas is giving out $1 billion in this first round to families that are going to need it. It's going to cover tuition, therapy, technology, and other services. Like I said earlier, it's going to be $1 billion that is going to be available across the state of Texas, and it's an opportunity to expand options for you and your child. Here in San Antonio, we have a very rich ecosystem of schools, public ISDs, public charters, private schools, and micro schools. There's so many different options, and this is just another option to be able to take advantage of. So we're a little excited about this program. So this will start. Funding available is going to be start in 26, 27. ESAs will launch. It's supposed to be FSAs, but ESAs will launch in 26, 27 academic school year. So be prepared to apply. And we'll actually tell you a little bit later how to be best prepared for this. So first things first, is your child eligible? Well, most Texas kids are going to be eligible. Eligibility are two things. One of them is you have to be a U.S. citizen and a U.S. citizen or a legal resident of the state of Texas, and as long as you're attending a Texas school, it says public school, but as long as you're attending a Texas school, you will be eligible. There are some criteria, and we'll dive deeper into that as we move along. But some of the tips right here, like I said, I know we're going to say this a lot. Make sure you apply on time. Funds are going to be limited. And to collect any documents you might need to establish your residencies, just like you would at any school. I know a lot of people here already have kids. When you take them to school, they always ask you for a water bill, a light bill, things like that to be prepared. So make sure you have all those documents on hand and readily available. So what if the demand is going to exceed funds, which is a possibility? There's going to be, like I said, at first, there's going to be $1 billion that are going to be available, but there's going to be some criteria to apply for these for these funds. So there is going to be like certain groups that are going to take priority. So some of the priorities that are going to be instituted is one, siblings of EFA students. So if you have a kid that applied for it, got the EFA funds, the siblings are automatically eligible. So that's going to be one group of kids. Another one is going to be students with disabilities, either low or middle income. The numbers on the backside of that are still not entirely clear. We're still there's still things that are being hashed out on that, but it will be students with disabilities that will be first in line for these funds. Low income students. So low income students will also be a group of kids that will be eligible for this, as well as middle income students. And then once all these kids get the funds, then everybody else will actually jump in line for the funds. So what can EFA funds cover? EFA funds can have flexible use for any kind of educational need. So first things first, it's going to be available to private school tuition and fees. So any kids that want to go to a private school, whether it's a parochial school, whether it's a school with archdiocese, whatever it might be, if it's any private school that chooses to take ESAs, these funds will be able to pay for that. In some cases, I mean, it's no secret, private school is expensive. So sometimes if that tuition is a little bit higher, the EFA fund will be able to kind of cover some of that cost. And a lot of times, some private schools in San Antonio, what they'll do is they'll either provide scholarships or support to cover the gap. And so in a lot of cases, some parents will be able to cover that gap. But we do realize not everybody's going to be able to do that. So there's going to be other ways to kind of like cover those gaps. You can also use it for therapy for your students. If their students are needing therapy, or they're needing any kind of tutors or any kind of instructional materials, if they're going to a private school or homeschool, things like that, these funds would be able to be used on those things. Technology and transportation. So technology is a big one, especially for kids that are going to like homeschool or they're going to a private school and they need some kind of technology. These funds will be able to cover that. Transportation is a big one. Like, let's say you want to go to a school that's kind of not near your area and it's a little bit further and you're going to need help in terms of transportation. These funds will be able to cover something like that. Online and credential programs. So any kind of like online schools or credentialing schools that are offered out there for any K-12 students, you'll be able to use these funds for that as well. And any approved childcare vendors, you're going to start to hear the word vendors pop up a lot. And vendors are basically these companies that are going to be providing these services. So whether it's a tutoring company, whether it's a transportation company, these are all vendors. And these vendors are going to have to go through a process whenever they are applying to the state to be able to take ESA funds. So a lot of these companies will be vetted. They'll be vetted at a high level by the state of Texas, by Odyssey, and by other organizations to make sure that the funds that the services that you are getting are coming from reputable companies. Because with this ESA program, I believe there's going to be a lot of companies coming in from all parts of the country trying to kind of take advantage. So it's going to be really important that these companies that you do work with are vetted and are doing reputable work for families. So how much funding will our family receive? So we're, like I said earlier, we're giving you this information at a really high level, and we're explaining this like really. Uh, we're just kind of giving you like a broad overview. Like there's going to be a lot of factors that go into this. Like if you're a special education student, IEP is going to dictate how much you might get. Right here it says up to 30,000, and it is up to 30,000. And we're not saying everybody is going to get 30,000. That's not the case. There's going to be different criteria that are going to have to be met for you to get those funds up to that 30,000. If you're going to go to an accredited private school, it'd probably be about 10,000 for a general ed student that's going to a private school. It's going to be right around roughly 10,000. And the students with disabilities, like we said earlier, it's going to go up to like 30,000. But it's also going to depend on our IEP. Your IEP is going to dictate how much you get of that. And then homeschooled kids are going to also be getting funds. However, a lot of these homeschool groups and things like that are not accredited, so you only get a total of $2,000 on those. So the applications are going to open soon. Set a calendar hold and sign up. Or like I said, there's a lot of things that are coming down. So dates might change, might shift, things like that. But so what we're going right now, applications are going to open on February 2026. That's the last information that we received. There's not going to be any cost to apply. Once all the online systems come out, there'll be an account access that you're going to be able to get on and go apply. We suggest that you stay connected with us over at the School Discovery Network. We are going to do a lot of like tutorials and helping you through this process. It's a really tough process. There's a lot happening, and we are going to be here on the ground helping you navigate this process. So we do ask to stay connected with us so that we can kind of make sure that as things unfold, we're able to help you navigate this process. Again, I'm going to say this slide again. If you just joined us in the middle of this presentation, please scan the QR code. Leave us your information so that we can connect with you later and keep you up to date with all the information that's going to be coming down from the state. So a lot of people have asked us if are there going to be any testing requirements for private schools or anybody taking the ESAs? There's not going to be any STAR testing that's required. However, there's going to be testing that's going to be tied to it, because we need to make sure that there is some kind of accountability. There is kids that are going to are learning. So like one of the programs that's out there that schools use right now is like map testing. Map testing is a way that we kind of like figure out if kids are learning, in the beginning of the year, the middle of the year, at the end of the year, to see progress and track progress. There will be some, it's not going to be a full-fledged like, STAR testing requirement, but there will be something like map testing or something to that effect to make sure that families are, like kids are learning. So, education freedom accounts in public schools. I know we mentioned earlier that every student in the state of Texas is going to be able to take advantage of EFAs. They are going to be for like private and homeschool students only. So, if your student is going to a public ISD, and there's this thing that whenever a kid goes to school every day and the state gives that school money, it's called ADA. If your student is collecting ADA from any public school, they're not going to be eligible to take the ESA. So they would have to be enrolled in a private school, in a homeschool, in a micro school, to be able to take advantage of the ESAs. But like I said, if they ever left a private school and then they were using the ESA funds and then they went to a public ISD, back to a public ISD, then that EFA would stop. And then if they were to try to go back to apply for the EFA again, from where we're understanding is you're going to have to go back to the line and kind of like wait again to get your EFA again. So that's just something to keep in mind. So yeah. The eligible grade levels, EFAs are going to be able to cover pre-K through 12. For pre-K, income requirements are going to apply. That information is still not like readily available to us, but from what we're understanding, like pre-K 3, pre-K 4 will be eligible. And for K-12, it's going to be universal. So everybody that's in K-12, within reason, like I said, you have to be at a private school, micro school, or homeschool to take advantage of it. However, it is universal for every K-12 student. Okay, I want to pause there to see if anybody has any questions. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat. And like I said, we have people right now that are looking at these questions and answering them for you. And if not, they will pass the information on to me. So some final reminders, some high level touch points that we did kind of like cover. EFA, this is a big opportunity for families, so big, something that we haven't seen in the state of Texas ever. So it's a pretty big program. This first year they are, I think this Texas legislature is doling out $1 billion. And then we're expected every year to add to more. So they're expecting like in 5 years to be closer to the number of 5 billion. So it's a lot of funds that are coming to that for Texas students. They are flexible. They could be life-changing for people. Like, like this can present opportunities that families might not have had before. So it's very important to kind of like know about all the things coming down from the state. There is going to be limited spots. So as soon as, like I said, I keep mentioning, I kept saying this earlier, stay connected with us. We are, Inga Cotton, our executive director, does an amazing job of staying up to date and kind of figuring out, how EFAs are going to impact Texas students. So make sure you stay connected with us. We are going to keep you updated as much as we can. But yes, please stay connected. It's like I said, like we said earlier, and we keep saying this, it's a new program that's being developed. So there's gonna be updates before like the official launch. And it's really wise to kind of like notice, like we've been doing these virtual town halls. We're having in-person town halls. I mean, if you could attend one, maybe two, it would be great, because we're going to be able to cascade that information to you. We also have a newsletter that we send out every month. Make sure you follow us so that you can get that newsletter. You'll see a lot of useful information there. You'll see a lot of things that are coming down from the state of Texas that we learn. As soon as we hear it, we pass it along to you. So please stay connected with us. So with that being said, we're gonna close it out here. What I am asking of everybody that is on the call, if you're here and you're on the call and you're listening in, please, this QR code right here is an exit ticket. We just want to find out a little bit about, like, we want to get better. We want to keep improving on our presentation. So please leave us feedback here so that we can get that information and we can make our presentations better for you. We love that you're sharing your time and your energy and your curiosities with us. And like I said earlier, I know I mentioned them earlier, and I'm going to plug these again. We started to stand up one-on-one school search consultations. So please, you can find those consultations. You can sign up at schooldiscoverynetwork.org. You can go on there and it'll show you exactly where to sign up. And what we'll do is we'll actually, like, you'll fill out an intake form of what you're looking for, what you wanna like learn about in terms of like schools and ESAs. And then what we'll do is you'll actually get some one-on-one time with one of our family engagement specialists. And what they'll do is they'll sit down with you and they'll talk to you about the schools in your area, the schools in your zip code, the schools that you might be interested in. And what we can do is we can kind of sit down, help with you, and basically help you choose the right school that you're looking for. San Antonio has a rich ecosystem of schools. We have everything from 1882 partnerships at ISDs. We have charter schools. We have private schools, micro schools, homeschools, pods. We have so many different types of schools. It's a very rich ecosystem. So there's an option for everybody. And sometimes we do realize it can be overwhelming. So please reach out to us so that we can sit down with you. It's a 1 hour session. We can sit down. We can go over all these schools. And then once ESAs come live, then we'll be able to sit down with you and we can talk to you about, hey, these are the options you have when it comes to ESAs. These are the schools that are going to take ESAs. These are the things that you need to know to apply for an ESA. So we are your trusted source. Inga Cotton and School Discovery Network's been around for the last 13 years. And it's been a great organization and a trusted organization here in San Antonio. So my team is directing me to some questions we have here. So if a child is in public school but planning to do private micro school for 26, 27, is it still possible to apply? Yes, Sergio said on. Yes, it is. It is possible to apply. But however, if you get awarded the ESA and you take that ESA, then obviously you're going to have to, you take your student out of the public ISD and then take them to the private or micro school, if that makes any sense. I hope I answered your question there. And then Carrie Skaggs, have you heard what kind of national test would be required of homeschool students? I have not, Carrie. The only test that I know that I've heard is MAP testing, which is a test that a lot of public school entities use now. Even some private schools use it. It's a nationally accredited test. So, and a lot of people use that because it's kind of aligned with these state standards. So that's a test that I've heard. But in terms of homeschool students, I have not heard of anything that I haven't heard of any test that homeschool students are going to be required to fill out. However, please stay connected with us, because as soon as we find something or we figure out, there is a test that you're going to be able to take advantage of, or that homeschool students are going to take, we can disseminate that information to you directly in a quick way. Okay, so like I said, just a really quick recap. The School Discovery Network, we have our schools map on the website. We have district guides. We have a quick start guide. I don't know if you guys have ever been to our website, but it's very robust. A lot of useful information in there that you can take advantage of. Our discoveries, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, X. We're all over the place on social media. We just had a school discovery day at the zoo, which is really successful. We had a lot of families show up, a lot of schools show up. It was a really diverse set of schools. We had private schools attend. We had micro schools, ISDs. We had, Northeast ISD there. We had the Archdiocese. So there's just a lot of different schools in San Antonio, and we're trying to put all those schools in front of you so that you can make the best decision for your child. And like I said, I haven't said this, but our Facebook group has over 15,000 members. So, I mean, if you can't get the answer from us, you're going to be able to go into the Facebook group and ask other families. There's always a conversation going on in there regarding families, regarding schools. And it's a good way to connect with other families. And sometimes, you're going to be able to find information from other families. So trust me, just use it. It's a really great resource. The Hoot is also another resource that we have. It's a weekly email newsletter. Subscribe at our website, and you'll get that newsletter coming to you. And then we have some up and coming school discovery days in October, January, and March. Oh, we actually just had our October one, but we have one in January, and then in March, the one in January, I believe, is at the Museum, and then the one in March is at the Hemisphere Plaza. Very great, very good events. Like I said, there's so many different schools. Sergio had another question here. What is the cost of one-on-one consultation? So that's a great question, Sergio. Right now, the one-on-one consultation is free. We're still in pilot mode. We're still learning. We're still trying to work out the kinks. So it is free. So please sign up and take advantage of it. They're not going to be free much longer. We'll eventually at some point we're going to start to kind of charge for those, and we're going to stand up a pricing model. But right now they are free, so please take advantage of it, Sergio. If you have a chance, go sign up, and we can get you connected with someone. So with that being said, that is the end of this presentation. Again, I want to thank everybody for being here and listening to what we have to say. There's a lot of more information that's going to be passed down. So please stay connected with us and on our different platforms. We really want to hear from you and get your feedback. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the QR code right here, the exit ticket. So if you haven't filled an exit ticket out, please fill one out. And please have a great evening and a great night. And thank you for joining us today. Have a great night.